BMW has taken a leaf out of Mercedes' book and introduced this, the 320 LD or Gran Limousine. Now, Mercedes did a similar thing with the E-Class, and how did that turn out? Absolutely spot on. But doing that to a 3 Series, a car that made its bones for being one of the most involving and driver-focused cars in the BMW stable, taking all that away, adding length, weight, and making it a backseat by now. What has the world come to?
The 2-litre turbocharged diesel engine makes 187 bhp, and while that may be enough, it is nothing like the engine in the 330i. Thanks to that added length and weight, it is also nowhere close in terms of handling and driving dynamics. Now 10 years ago, if you would have said to someone the 3 Series is going to be a backseat driver's car, they would have laughed at you. But times have changed, the competition is fierce now, and you've got to do everything you can to offer the perfect blend. Well, is it the perfect blend? Not really. You know, the 320d with this engine is not the one. Yes, you get a lot of space in the back, and yes, it's not too bad to drive, but the great part is BMW also have introduced this Li version in the 330 spec. So that's obviously called the 330 Li, and I think that's the car to have because you get that perfect balance of performance and practicality. You get that lovely legroom in the back, but you also get that strong, potent engine up front, and I think that is the one people would most likely buy. However, if you don't really care much and if you aren't too much of an enthusiast, I think this one makes a lot of sense because the range here is well over 600 kilometers on a full tank, and if you are someone who does a lot of driving, the refinement is good, the performance is good. There's really nothing to complain unless you are a out and out enthusiast, and that is where the difference lies. So the 320 with the L version definitely is something to look for.
The LD then is clearly a backseat driver's car. It is definitely not for someone who likes to drive. It is for sensible people that like to do sensible stuff like this one. Now this is the party piece of the BMW 320 LD, the backseat. That L from the LD really shines through here. That added length, the extra wheelbase really comes into its own because as you can see, I am seated in utmost comfort. There is loads of room in front and the seat is not really tucked in ahead. I can still take this fully ahead and really stretch out completely. I think that's what's the best part because for the chauffeur driven, for people who like to sit in the back, there is no better alternative in this segment at least. When you're back here, you genuinely even wonder, is there any need for a 5 Series now? Because I don't see anything you get extra in that. You get a lot of the tech, you get a panoramic sunroof, you get 3-zone climate control. You do miss out on sun blinds, that is something I would have liked. But apart from that, everything is absolutely plush and premium. It is still a very expensive car and the luxury quotient is very much there. Here's what I never thought I'll say in a back of a 3 Series. The space and the back seat is excellent.
However, the 320 LD isn't the only car out there with an impressive backseat. This one not only has a good rear seat, but also looks stunning.
This is Volvo's answer to the BMW Gran Limousine. It is the Volvo S60 and it is here today because it is closest in terms of rivalry to the BMW. A, because it is just as much spacious, B, because it is new and modern, and of course it is a petrol engine unlike the BMW which is a diesel, but I think nowadays it really doesn't matter. Refinement from the petrol engine is excellent. It also makes 187 bhp. However, if you want poke and grunt, if you want a potent engine, maybe this is not the one for you because it is a relaxed sort of car. It is very linear in terms of power delivery. So it is definitely for those who don't really care about the engine and outright performance. Handling is something that again is not as good as the 3 Series, but it is still a very nice car to drive. Yes, the steering feels a bit light and inconsistent, but I think it shouldn't be a problem because again the focus is just not on the driving, it is on overall comfort. You also get drive modes here between comfort, dynamic and eco, and that also changes the characteristics, but inherently it still remains a more relaxed sort of cruiser. Apart from that, the interior is absolutely fantastic. I mean, there is that lovely minimalism that you get from Volvos. This vertical sort of tablet-like touchscreen feels incredible. It is responsive, it's fast, and it occupies a lot of the features, and the S60 is a very good consideration. But again, as we've seen, the car is here because it rivals the BMW in terms of back seat space, and that is what we're going to find out now. Now, the back seat of the S60 was always impressive. Since Ramesh drove it last time, I managed to sample it as well, and I came out very impressed, which is why I've got it here. I know it's not an apples to apples comparison. The 3 Series is a diesel, this is a petrol, but it is about the back seat right now, and this is the closest in terms of competition. Space for one is excellent. I mean, of course, it's not as big as the 3 Series. I think that is definitely incremental and something you can easily look over, because the seats, the cabin and the comfort back here is absolutely excellent. The seats for one, like the front, are superb. They are supportive, they are bolstered right. Under thigh support is not the best, but it is again a minor flaw, a minor blemish. In terms of equipment, you get a panoramic sunroof, not the biggest one clearly, and you also get 4-zone climate control instead of the 3-zone in the 3 Series. You also get these nice AC vents, extra bits on the door pads, which again helps a lot. And like the 3 Series, you also don't get sun blinds in this one. But I think if you are looking for a backseat buy, the S60 should definitely be up there, because apart from that little bit of length, you get a lot of exclusivity. You do stand out from the crowd, and the design is something that you really should consider. It is a lot more proportionate, and it just turns heads everywhere. The Volvo is surely a looker, and even though it isn't flashy or outrageous, it grabs a lot more attention than the BMW. The front end is imposing thanks to that prominent grille and the Thor hammer headlamps, and the bigger 18-inch wheels also work in its favor. The rear too is clean and elegant with C-shaped LED tail lamps and a minimalistic approach. The BMW, on the other hand, is very simple and similar to the 3 Series that we've seen. It gets plenty of chrome, and the kidney grille is very much there. However, what feels odd are the 17-inch wheels. That added length along with the small wheels give it slightly odd proportions, but I am nitpicking right now. There are no changes to the rear apart from the LD badging, so Volvo is clearly the one to take the top spot in terms of looks. Choosing one between these two is a lot harder than you'd imagine. The extended wheelbase 3 Series is a lot more appealing this time round, and the Volvo S60 is as close as it can get. It is really a tough competition, and it all boils down to what you want from your sedan. If it is the back seat and the back seat only, the 3 Series is the perfect match for you. But if you are ready to sacrifice just a tad bit, the Volvo will give you the looks, the vanity and the features, and that exclusivity as well. Let us know in the comments section what would you think, and which one would you choose among these two. Hit us with the like button if you like this video, share it with as many as possible, and of course don't forget to subscribe to Top Gear India and hit that bell icon to never miss an update.